Hey guys, what's up and welcome to today's video. I don't think I have ever looked this shitty when sitting down and filming a video for you guys. And I know I shouldn't say that about myself, and none of us wake up in a full glam, face of makeup, hair done. You guys get the drift. But I thought it would be fun because I've never done one of these before. Kind of like a full-on glow up. I know one of those cringy terms like shook and, you know, all of those. But I thought it would be fun to kind of show you guys from the very beginning how I literally wake up like bedhead and all I did was cleanse my face, do my skincare, that's about it, and then plopped right in front of the camera right here. We are going to start from the bottom up as you see right here and then put on a full face of makeup. This will even be like a tutorial, so I'm going to show you what foundation mix I am currently loving and just discovered. I did talk about it on my Instagram stories on Sunday. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. Obviously the finished product will actually be my hair done, a different outfit, a glow up as they say. So let's just go ahead and jump into it and let's get started. Now usually I don't use a primer. I have primers that I enjoy. They're just not something that I reach for all the time. But as of recently, because my skin has been so sensitive in the dry weather, I have been loving the Physicians Formula Organic Mineral Wear Primer. I have talked about this on my channel before. It has almost like a green, can you guys hear that? That's the pump because it sucks. I wish I could get it to work better, but it is what it is. It has almost like a very slight green tint to it, so it almost kind of like neutralizes redness. It isn't advertised to do that, but it does do it. It's got a lot of calming ingredients in it, and it is really helpful on dry skin, and it really does lay down a beautiful canvas for makeup. I can just feel my skin just feeling very dry and scaly, so I think I might need to take a step back from my Retin-A products, but yeah. So there we go. I just go ahead and put a little bit here, here, and here, and these are the areas that I tend to be the most dry right now. So now that we've done that and we have primed, I'm going to share with you guys my current favorite foundation mix. I take my L'Oreal 24 Hour Fresh Wear, this is in the shade 425, and I mix it with the Too Faced Do You foundation, and this is in the shade Golden Beige. Now this works perfectly for me because this shade is just ever so slightly too light for me, and this one is just way too dark for me right now. This is straight up my summer shade. I wore this on my wedding day. These mixed together are just like the perfect combo. The L'Oreal foundation is a little bit more of like a natural, almost matte finish, where this one is obviously a lot more dewy. And when I mix the two shades together, I just kind of do that on the back of my hand. It's just like the perfect shade, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. It's like they work together. I don't know what made me want to try this combo. I just randomly reached for it and I was like, yeah, let's see how well those work together. It does actually amp up the coverage too, because the Do You foundation is a bit more full coverage, so I get a little bit more out of it. Just take my beauty blender, pick up the rest of what's on the back of my hand, and just dab that in. I am a little bit more red this morning, so I'm going to add in just a little bit more kind of on the cheeks and where I tend to be a little bit more red. Well, I tend to be more red everywhere this morning. This beauty blender used to be red, and now it's like a watermelon pink color. I almost hate looking at the color of it. I don't know why I keep using it. Maybe because it just happens to be the one that's closest to me. So there's that. Foundation is done. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with some of the Tarte Shape Tape, but this is in the shade Light Sand. Now my under eyes are heavily moisturized. I did go ahead and start out with even putting some Aquaphor down. That is how dry my skin has been. And if I can get my under eyes really hydrated and dewy like that, Shape Tape looks fantastic on my under eye area, which is strange. It took me so many years to figure out how to get this concealer to work for me. I don't use a lot. The coverage is pretty intense. My nose ring always wants to twist. Now that we are properly concealed, I'm going to go ahead and set the under eye with some of the Laura Mercier setting powder. Again, an odd combination because back in the day, this would have made my under eyes look like total butt shit, but it works for me right now. And I only use this very sparingly on a brush right on the under eye area. Nowhere else. I don't use this powder anywhere else on my face, only to set the under eyes. For the rest of the face, I'm going to go ahead and set it down with the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. Just going to stick with that same brush, pick up some of that product, and I just go ahead and lightly tap that all over the face just to make sure everything is set. and I never go in more than that. That is it. When you are dry, my friends, you do not want to go in heavily with powder. Now to bring some luminosity back to the skin and to the under eye area, I'm gonna dip into my Hourglass. This is the Ambient Light Lighting Edit Volume 3 palette. I'm gonna dip into this shade right here, again with the same brush, and just lightly patting that under the eyes. And just bringing that excess all over the face. This palette has been my best friend recently. Perfect, nothing is looking cakey or overdone. Now it is time to contour and bronze. I'm gonna dip into my Smashbox. This is the Holidays Contour and Spotlight palette. This was something that launched last year as part of Smashbox's holiday collection. I am obsessed. I'm going to cry the day that this guy goes bad because these two shades right here are a contour dream. I'm gonna take my Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH05. Just gonna lightly start buffing that right above where the hollow of my cheek is. I like to go above it because then everything looks lifted versus falling downwards. It brings my cheek up and gives the illusion that I have nice prominent cheekbones. It is so freaking cold. I was not ready for this. I feel like summer just came and went so quickly. And today actually marks 2 years since my husband and I got engaged. For some of you who don't know, I got engaged at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, right in front of my favorite painting, Van Gogh's Starry Night. I can't believe it was 2 years ago already, and I can't believe my wedding was already 5 months ago. So crazy to think about how quickly 2019 went by. Despite the fact that my wedding was one of the best memories I have from the year, I can't say enough how glad I am that 2019 is over because it's also been kind of a shitty year at the same time. New Year's is like my favorite holiday. I absolutely love New Year's Eve. It just feels like a fresh, brand new beginning. I love the vibes. It's just such, I don't know why, I just find it to be like one of the most beautiful holidays. I've always been a huge fan of New Year's Eve. I just get so festive, and I don't really go out and celebrate it all crazy or anything like that, obviously, but I am such a massive homebody. But yeah, there's just a vibe that I absolutely love with New Year's Eve. I dip into my Morphe. This is the Glamour Bronze Bronzer. This is in the shade Icon, a tried and true favorite. I'm just gonna stick with that same brush. This just adds a little bit of warmth. I'm barely adding any of this bronzer to the skin, ever so slightly adding just a little bit more bronze along the jawline here. God, my hair is nuts. But when does it not look nuts, you guys? This is just like a messier version of how my hair normally is when I film, so whatever. Take this Morphe brush right here. What is this? This is an E48, and I'm gonna dip into this bronzer shade right here in the Hourglass Ambient palette. This doesn't add a ton of color, but does add a bit of a sheen to the cheeks, and I absolutely love the finish. I wanna go heavy on the bronze because I am feeling it. I want to be bronzed. All right, so now that we are done with that, I kind of stay away from blush lately again because I am pretty red right now, and I just want my face to look more bronzed and I want it to look more pink. So this is kind of where I try to set my face down a bit. I've got a lot of powders going on. Powders and I aren't exactly the best of friends when I'm dry, so I need to set this down. I'm just gonna take some Fix Plus. It's so cold in my room that that mist is almost like it's chilled, and it feels so good on the skin. So we just have to kind of wait till that dries down so I can do my brows. I need one of those little handheld fans that I see Jaclyn Hill and Kathleen Lights using. This is my fan right here. My two hands like this. Wow, that is crazy looking. But yeah, this is kind of how I dry down my setting sprays. All right, boom. All right, let's do brows. This is something that I recently discovered and I am obsessed with. This is from BH Cosmetics. They launched this, I wanna say, a couple of months ago or so. This is their brow duos. This brow powder in the shade Dark Brown, girl, this brow powder is fantastic. I just use this angled brush right here. This is from Aesthetica. In fact, no, that's not the one I want. I want my Sigma one. Here it is. Sigma. This is the one I want. I'm like reading this off like this is the brush I normally use. It totally isn't. This is the Line Perfector. This is the E68. This one just provides a way more precise, accurate line for the brows. I kind of just dip into both shades here, as you can see. It is the perfect match. This is like the perfect, cool, dark tone brown for my brows. It is amazing. I'm just gonna take this spoolie and make sure everything is brushed out great. As I'm doing this, I can definitely see that my eczema is flaring on my eyes right here. Not a cute look. I just kind of start at the bottom here with a light hand, and I start to kind of carve out the shape that I want with my brows. These need to be waxed and cleaned up so bad. This is a part of my routine that I absolutely loathe and hate the most. I just can't ever, I don't know what it is. I hate doing my brows. People who say they like to do their brows are weird people. Let me know in the comments if brows are something that you enjoy doing. But I will say this powder makes it a hell of a lot easier. Like, it's bomb. This brush is everything. I should make one of those videos of like makeup steps that I don't partake in. One of them is using like 1,000 different brow products. I do not carve out my brows. I just don't feel the need to do that. And honestly, I will tell you guys, one of my biggest pet peeves is when I see someone carving out their brows. And if you do this, no hate, do you, do as you do. But for me, what I cannot stand watching is when somebody carves out their brows with a concealer that is like 3 times lighter than their actual skin. Like they're using the same concealer that they do to brighten their under eyes. Girl, no. And they do it up here. Now right here under the brow is fine, but doing that shit all around the brow, no one's skin naturally looks like that. I mean, my brows don't naturally ever look this dark and no one's ever does, but you guys get the drift. That's just, it's weird to me. But do you see that? That was like the easiest thing ever. So opaque. This brow powder is just everything. It's so easy. It's taken the place of my Glow Skin Beauty Minerals, whatever that is, brow pencil. And you guys, you know, I go through phases with my brow products, just like I do with my mascaras. I bet like in a few weeks, I'll be like, why doesn't this look the same as it did that one time I used it? And why doesn't it look as good? And then I'll go back to using my, rude. I go back to using my Glow Skin pencil. This video is going to take 10 years to edit. I've already been filming for 21 minutes according to my viewfinder, and I'm not even onto eyeshadow yet. I'm just onto brows. Actually, that's not that bad. Let's go ahead and brush this out so that we don't have any harshness going on here. Take some of my trusty Kylie, what is this called? The Extreme Hold Brow Gel. I love this stuff. This stuff holds my brows in place all day, and it like locks in the color too. It's amazing. It doesn't move anything around. It just holds everything in. Perfect. Good enough. That's all I use is a brow powder or a brow pencil, something that holds it in. Done. If you use like precise tools and you really just practice your brows, you don't need to carve it all out. To me, a little bit of fluffiness, a little bit of unevenness, that just looks so much more natural. I guess I'm all about more of a natural approach when it comes to certain things. Now I need to hydrate my lips while I am doing my shadow. We'll dip into that in just a moment, but you guys, it's that time of year. I have ranted and raved about this product on my channel so many freaking times. I love the Treat Beauty lip balms. Nothing compares to this. If you have dry lips, you need this. This is her newest one. This is the Oatmeal Cream Pie Lip Balm. This has colloidal oatmeal in it. So it's super calming, and it's just extra virgin organic coconut oil. There is not a lot of ingredients in this whatsoever. Everything is organic, and you can actually put this on other parts of the body that are irritated. But if you want to get rid of the dry, crusty dusties on your lips, you can even use this as an overnight lip mask. It is bomb. Not sponsored, not affiliated, nothing like that. I just like to give a shout out to that product because they are really that bitch. They are so good. All right, so here we are. We are ready to dip into some eyeshadow as per your request. You guys have been leaving me so many comments saying that you want to see more from the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette, so that is exactly what we are going to use today. I do think I want to go a little bit more smoky, so I'm kind of wanting to dip into these 3 right here. I know I've done a look using Ritual and Soothe for the most part, but I do want to dip into Memory today as well and really dip into that black. So I start off with my Lamora. This is the blending brush, super cheap brushes on Amazon. These are fantastic. And I'm just going to start off with using Aura, the shade right here. I'm just going to lightly dust that all over the lid just to kind of lay down a base. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Boom, done, easy enough. Now I'm gonna go in taking the same brush and I'm gonna dip into Soothe. Now, these are very pigmented. Let me know in the comments if you have this palette. You do not need much. I am barely moving my brush right now on my eyes, and we are getting some beauteous color payoff. I want the browns to be a little bit more light, but I want this to be like smoked out. Even when my skin on my eyes is so dry, this blends effortlessly. Again, same brush. Now we're gonna dip into the deep brown matte shade Ritual. This guy is pigmented. I'm gonna focus this on the outer part of the eye, bringing that slightly into the crease. Look at that. So much color payoff. I'm just gonna use my wrist here to just kind of brush off some of that excess product so that I'm only working with what is left on the brush and what is already on my eye. Now, when I first used this shade in my initial review of this palette, I had a little bit of a hard time blending it. But this time I'm not. It's just so weird how different brushes, different bases can change how a product blends. I'm gonna keep this tight into the crease. I don't wanna fluff out and just go huge out like I normally would with my shadows. I do like to bring darker shades out just a bit though, because if you leave it just on the outer portion of the lid, you're kind of doing your eyes a disservice and you're making things look closed in versus also bringing the eyes together but also drawing it out, if that makes any sense at all. I'm gonna clean off my brush on my color switch. You guys, I swear some days I could create a look with like 1 or 2 brushes. It's totally possible. But dip back into Soothe right here. I do want to use that right along the edges just to kind of soften everything back up, make sure everything is blended. Boom, happy with that. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to dip into this black shade. Shit, I'm nervous. And I need a brush that isn't too dense, but also is fluffy enough to where I can blend product. I'm gonna take this flat shader brush and I'm just gonna ever so slightly dip into Memory. Like I am just lightly tapping this. Everything is deepened up, looking good. Now I need to figure out what I wanna put all over the lid, and I think I'm gonna go with Aura. I'm gonna use the sequin shade Aura right here. I am going to use, let's see, I'm going to use this flat shader brush from Sigma. This is the E55, and we're gonna dip into Aura. We're just gonna start by packing that in all on the inner part of the eye here. Do you think my finger might be a little bit more effective? Yes, and it also picks up more of that glitter. I will say one thing about shadows that are like this, that have like the micro reflexive glitter in them, but they're matte. If you use a brush, you do lose quite a bit of that dimension. It does go away. If you use your finger, you're gonna get a lot more of that pigment. You're gonna get a lot more of the micro reflexive glitter because they're so pretty, and that's the point of the shade. And I don't mind using my finger for a matte shadow. Who cares? Like, if it works, it works. It's actually really pretty. I like that. But I do think, do I wanna go metallic or do I wanna leave it matte? Let's leave it matte. I don't really do a whole lot of matte looks like this, and I think with the glitter in this Aura shade, we're gonna be doing well. But then part of me also wants to tap on some of the glitter from Aura as well. Do we do it? Yes, we do. We're gonna do it. So I'm gonna dip my finger into the glitter shade for Aura. I'm gonna show you guys up close. I'm just gonna tap that right in the center only. I want all of that glitter kind of right in the center of the eye, and that's it. I take this Sigma brush right here. This is the E45, and now I'm gonna go dip into the shade Soothe. I'm gonna drag that all along the lower lash line. I am going to deepen this up too, but I do just want to start off with this. Just kind of smoke everything out. Oh my god, I hate when I do that. I like put my brush right in my eyeball. How many times have I done makeup? I'm going to take the Aesthetica angled brush. I'm going to dip into the matte. What am I doing here? How am I holding this? This palette is so heavy. The matte shade Memory here, and then I'm going to kind of drag that very close to the lower lash line, like right along the lash line, and I'm going to use that as a liner. I'm only doing it like on the outer part. I'm not going to bring it all the way in. Back in, what is this? How did I forget already? The E45, pick up more of Soothe and the matte finish and smoke that out. One thing I love about this black shade is that it is very blendable, which makes it easy to work with, and you don't have to be afraid of it because it does blend, which is nice. Perfect. I like it. Now, do I want to put anything on the upper lash line? There is our friend on the motorcycle again. Just want to tap that glitter in. I really want that to stay put. Perfect. So let's go ahead and highlight. Again, we're going back in with Lamora. This is the detailed pencil brush, and let's dip into the metallic finish of Aura, just like so. Spray her with some Fix Plus. Bring that slightly right down onto the lower lash line. That is the brightness I am looking for. This palette is so freaking versatile. You could use all of these colors together and it's gonna look good. Hit up just gently right in the curve of the brow, just so when there is some light, it just hits it perfectly. And I can't find my eyelash curler anywhere, so we're just gonna go in with some Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Not gonna opt in for any falsies, hoping and praying for minimal transfer under the upper eyelid, because it doesn't matter what mascara I use, it usually happens. Sometimes I like to tug up on my eye right here, but I don't want to disrupt my glitter. And if we've got some transfer, then we've got some transfer. It is what it is. Life moves on. Mascara has to be my favorite part of my routine when I'm doing my makeup in general. It literally is what finishes a look. I'm gonna let that dry on the lid because I do have a little bit of transfer, but if I try to pick that off right now, things are gonna get smudged. This look is stunning and beautiful, and I love the hint of glitter right in the center of the eye. It just gives it just like a little pop, but lets the mattes also have their moment as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, before I forget, we didn't put any highlighter on the face. I purposely kind of left that step for last. What highlighter do I want to use? Go in with some Flexitarian. She is bright, but we're gonna do it really bright. That's just me tapping my finger into this. That's like barely anything. Just gonna gently hit right the top of the cheeks. Like, girl, look at that. That is intense. I'm gonna use just a little bit. Despite how shitty my hair looks right now, this look just doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter what the hair looks like. This is such a beautiful eye look. Perfection. Let's go ahead and do the lips. I have a combo right now that I am living for. The CoverGirl Melting Pout Matte Lipsticks. These are so underrated. They are fantastic. They are comfortable to use. If you are someone who doesn't really like matte lipsticks because you feel like it exaggerates every line in your lip, it makes your lips look super dry, lay down some balm first, like 10 minutes before you know you're gonna do your lips, and then let it sink in and hydrate. And what that will do is it'll kind of almost like lay down like a primer, and it'll prevent some of that settling. It's not gonna cure the issue, obviously. I will be honest, I have lip fillers, and that totally gets rid of all of the lines in my lips. This color is so effortless and so beautiful. This is in the shade, I should probably tell you what it is, Current Nude, my absolute favorite. All right, so I'm gonna let that dry down. Then what I like to do is top it with the Butter Gloss. This is a combo that I discovered when I was doing my NYX Love Lust Disco 24-day advent calendar unboxing. If you guys watched that, I had this lipstick on, and then I unboxed this shade here in the shade Madeline, and I put this on top, and it is just a beautiful combination together and looks gorgeous with an eye look like this. So it feels dry enough. Lay down some of this gloss. Super comfortable together too. I really like the butter glosses. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off camera quickly. I'm gonna go ahead, do my hair, change my top, and then you guys are going to see the final look. All right, you guys, so here you got it. This is the completed look. I went for the uneven space buns because my gray hairs are starting to grow in, and this is a hairstyle that hides it pretty well. Your girl needs a touch up, but I think this makeup look is absolutely gorgeous. Obviously the base is something that I have been doing, but this is an eye combo with the Tati palette that I have not tried quite yet. I do have to say I think it's absolutely beautiful. This palette is just so freaking versatile. Despite the fact that there are only really, what is it, 6 shades in this palette, there is so much you can do with it. This is like the 3rd look I have created so far. And speaking of that, if you guys want to see more tutorials, quick tutorials with the palettes that I review, I am going to start doing more Instagram videos. So follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I have my Instagram handle or name in the description box below, along with Twitter and all that other good stuff. So if you want more of my ridiculousness, you know where else to find me. But yeah, again, space buns, loving that. Giant gold hoops. Went ahead and went for the t-shirt that my sister got me from Five Below because I was kind of feeling the 90s vibes with the hair. I think this look turned out beautiful. A definite glow up from the beginning of the video, if you ask me. But you know what? We look beautiful before and after. So I just want to put that message out there. I know it's cheesy. I know it's cliche, but it's true because you gotta love yourself in your own skin. It is so important. Beautiful with or without makeup. That's the truth. So there you guys have it. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it, share it, and of course be sure to subscribe to my channel before you go. I love you guys so much and I hope you had fun. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye guys!